Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone out there in all social media land, wherever we are streaming to, which we're using StreamYard. And so if you come on, make sure that you allow StreamYard access to you as we're streaming through StreamYard onto Facebook and YouTube. Good morning and welcome to the Ronnie and Yashika's dating discussion, 12 days till Christmas. Today is day 8, I think it is, day 8. This is the no. Today
Day
is day
nine.
nine.
Day
Today is day
nine.
9. Oh my goodness! I hope I said that correctly on my banner. But today is day 9 of the 12 days of Christmas, and this is the final day for our third block of Flirt On. And today we are talking about flirting from a man's perspective. Again, welcome to Ronnie and Yashika's Dating Discussion. I am Yashika Foster, affectionately known as the artist of dating, and I empower successful women to date through self discovery while finding the love of their lives and having the tools to balance it all. And my handsome co host this morning, as always, Mr. Ronnie.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on where in the world you're listening to. I am Ronnie Walker, Master Coach of Exceptional Dating, Relationships, and Sex. And I welcome you, and again, thank you for your support of the Ronnie and Yashika Dating Discussions. And again, I'm also grateful to be here uh, with my co-host here. To all those that are looking at her, know that Good Morning Gorgeous is not directed to Mary J, but to Yashika. So I thank you. As always, you're looking incredible. Thank.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind. You're so kind. So that's a little flirt, ladies. Sometimes,
See, you told them. I was trying to trying to
yes,
do the
yes,
subliminals here for the brothers.
yes,
For the
yes,
brothers
yes.
tuning
So a
in.
little flirt from him and then a little flirt back from me as I corresponded with, thank you, honey. you know. This series, Ronnie, let me say this before we begin this morning. I have absolutely enjoyed this series because knowing what I know about the dating world and all the, I won't even call it obstacles, but you know what? Let's use the word obstacles. All the barriers and obstacles and hurdles that we have to go through as singles in order to really just, you know, not to sound corny, but find the love of our lives or find our person, find our one person that we can just rock with. And as we go through ending or on the end of this day 9, and we go into the last block of our 4 blocks, it's just really, really, says a lot about the different things that we have to experience. And I feel that this series really, really does. Each subject plays on one another, because there's like a bigger picture, because people think that and I think and when I say people, I'm talking about, I know I'm guilty of it as well, especially in my formal life. You know, um, I thought that dating was as simple as finding someone that you were attracted to and hoping, that it leads to the altar, right? Not really understanding that dating is so much more than just finding someone that you're attracted to. It's discovering who you are, what you need, what you desire, just how someone can really come into your life and enhance your life, not take away from it, but enhance your life. So that plays a part in, if I'm dating someone, for example, and every time I look around, there's friction between us, then that doesn't add to my life. That doesn't add value to my life. If I find myself always arguing, now granted, you're going to have two people from different sides of the track. I won't even say different sides of the track, just two people with their own brains, their own hearts that sees things differently than the other person, right? And so I understand that getting to the altar, there are a lot of things that you have to either learn to agree upon or learn to disagree upon, right? And understand that it's okay that you disagree with someone, especially your partner. It's okay because because you have your own brain, your own heart. You're not gonna always agree on everything. But I think people are so quick to throw in a towel sometimes that they don't understand that it really involves a lot more than just I'm attracted to you, so let's get together.
Hmm.
You know. So yeah, yeah,
I agree.
that's
I agree. I agree. And this all goes back to what you were also saying, or even we both said at the top of the hour. is that self-discovery. It is
Hmm.
self-discovery, and this is something that many people, I hear this echo throughout the halls, online and offline, where people are so quick to give up.
Hmm.
I remember even reading something this morning about why men aren't as persuasive or working so hard. I says, well, because now it's been redefined as stalking or thirsty. You
Hmm.
know, calling someone more than one time is stalking. I'm like, how the heck? Again, it's interesting. These this consistent and redefining of certain things that were at
Yeah.
one point considered something that was all in just the pursuit,
Hmm.
of trying to meet someone that you whatever. Now I get it. Now, are there weirdos out there on both men and yeah, absolutely. But to every single time that a man
Yeah.
asks you more than once, the attitude and the willing to give up. So I agree. Hopefully people will take this and really take this to heart what we're sharing because it does start with self.
Yeah.
It does start with
Absolutely.
self.
I was talking to someone the other day. They asked me about a man that wants to hear from a woman every day, right? And so they asked me. They said, "Is that what men are doing?" And I said, we really have to get away from this mindset of what we think that one sex should do versus the other sex, because regardless whether you're talking about a man or a woman, we're all human, right? And so I'm not saying that, accept a person 100% with, and just deal with it, because if they don't work for you, they don't work for you. But I think that it's one of those things where if that person that you're dealing with, whether it be man or woman, that decides that, hey, I want to hear from you at least once a day. It may not have to be a long conversation. It may be a quick conversation, 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever. I want to hear your voice every day. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think people look at it like, well, wait a minute, you're supposed to be a guy, for example. Why are you expecting this from me? Or I hear women say, or men say, why is she acting so alpha? And I'm just like, okay, well, she's not really acting. If there's a decision that needs to be made, a lot of times, because women are just who we are naturally, we have a maternal instinct. We're going to make the decision. It's not that we're trying to wear the pants or we're trying to be the man or we're trying to do any of those things. We are literally looking at it from the perspective of a decision has to be made. So let's do it. And so let's just get away from this whole, what one gender is supposed to do versus another. I mean, granted, there are some things that, are just I feel like a man should do, and then there's some things that a woman should do. And it's not to say that either sex can't do it. It's just that there are some things that only men can do, and there's some things that only women should do. But that doesn't mean that, for example, if I'm in a marriage, I can't take out the trash. You know what I mean? I mean, it doesn't mean that the trash is going to pile up for 3 days because he's out of town and I'm waiting on him to get home to take it out. You know what I mean? I'm just using it as an example. I know there's some people say, women, men can do both. I understand that. But I'm just using the trash for an example because there are people who just, feel like, well, I would never do that because of this. And if that works for your family or that your relationship, then so be it. But that doesn't mean, but don't get so caught up in the way you think things should happen that you miss out on a potential connection, a potential partner, because you're stuck in those I won't even call them antiquated, but those ways that you think that things should be, depending on which sex is it dealing with, right? I don't know, but that's just my little 2 cent. You're on mute.
I agree, and this is where we are different. And I think one of the challenges to dating now is the new mindset. Excuse me, that people are adopting and trying to make everything fluid or equal. And I'm going. There are some things that we can agree on the equality, and there's just things that are different,
Mhm,
and then we have to accept that. And even in this subject today, talking about flirting.
mhm.
Now, ladies, as equal as some of you want to think, if a man flirted in the ways that a woman flirts, you would not think he's a man, or
Yeah,
that would not turn you on. So
right.
let's accept the differences and embrace that because that's the beauty of humans. That's just the beauty of grand design. So let's be honest. And you're right. I agree. There are some spaces where, yes, we're getting too caught up in what this should be doing or that should be doing. And this subject, I think, is going to help clarify that because, again, as men and women, there are ways that women flirt,
Mm-hmm.
and there are ways that men flirt. There are ways that women may interpret or misinterpret the flirtation, and
Mm-hmm.
there are ways that men. So again, this is the importance of this discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you learn anything from Yashika and I, is that we do understand the differences between men and women, but there are some spaces where let's unlearn a couple things
Mm-hmm.
so that you can, as you say, get to the love making. Get to love and then get to love making. So, this is going to be a very interesting conversation because it's something I think women could learn from.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think it's something that women can learn from, and I hope that men learned yesterday from the class that we had yesterday.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and as we get into and let's just dive right into it. Now,
okay,
you said that there's some ways that men flirt and women would probably not expect it. I forget what you really used, but now, granted, I don't want a man flipping his hair at me.
see, that was one of
I
those things.
don't. I don't want him flipping his hair at
Exactly,
me and
exactly,
all that. And I know some people
or
have really
batting his
long
eyes.
hair and they may, toss it back. But when a man does that, I don't see that as flirty. I see that as, let's just say the guy got long hair. I see that as him just getting the hair out of his eyes, out of his face. I don't see it as, oh my God, he flipped his hair at me, he's flirting with me. I don't see it that way. So let's get right into it, Ronnie. What are some things that men do when they are flirting?
What is it that men do? Well, understand something. Men, we analyze things in terms of return on the investment.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there are those spaces where women really try to make men to be very simple, and to a point, I will agree.
Mm-hmm.
However, please understand the way that men calculate things. So, and there'll be some men who say, "You don't speak for me again," but in general, if we see again, so we're going to go to Ronnie's famous cocktail party.
Mm-hmm.
He sees an attractive woman. I can assure you, he's looking from bottom to top, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So if she physically looks like what he's attracted to, now he's going to survey the space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking the ladies through this and how we process this. Some men process this. We're going to look at the finger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is she married? Okay. And there's no ring in that finger.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there are women who are married who don't have a ring on the finger. Again, we're not going to get into that. Shame on you.
Right.
But again, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
No ring. So now, two things happen. Either A, she's single. B, she may be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to survey to see if anyone's standing around her.
Mm-hmm.
So now, we as men may not call it flirting. As a matter of fact, I know I don't. But I am going to make my presence and interest known in her.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, so he's walking over. And of course, if we're at a cocktail party and let's just say, or a bar, he's going to offer to buy her a drink. He's going to introduce himself. Hey, how you doing? Maybe try to enter some sort of small talk.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, let's just say she's, I'm trying to get us, it could be looking at a game. Maybe she's into sports or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he may say something concerning the team or the score or whatever the case may be. Try to find out whose team she's rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ladies, let me tell you something. From the minute he opens his mouth, he's looking at your physiology and your tonality.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what you say at that time, and this is why being in a good state is going to help you. Now, if you're so into sports, because this has happened, and your team is losing, and he says something, and you snap back, that had nothing to do with him, but it could because your team is losing, you've blown a chance. Now, unless he's persistent, and he may come back with something. So he's waiting for your response. Are you going to turn and flip that hair? You're going to bat that eye? Or whatever. but he's looking for that. And based on that tone and body language, he's going to say, good. Now, he may then offer to buy a beverage. You may say yes, you may say no. Again, it depends on how you answer that question. Now, if it's full of attitude or he interprets it to be full attitude, he says, okay, again. But the whole thing is just presence and making his intentions known. You know, out of all the women that are in there, he could be speaking to, he comes to speak to you. So you know, ladies, and some of you know, he's on a mission. So saying something, now he may say something what we think is witty, you may think is corny. But also, remember when Yasheka mentioned just laughing at the joke even when it's not funny. And sometimes we know in our mind that joke is corny as hell. But if she laughed, that's what we call a buying signal. Okay, she laughs my corny ass joke, there's a shot. And hence, hey, how you doing? My name is Ronnie. What is yours? It doesn't have to be overly complicated. And I know some men like to go all the way around the thing. Sometimes, if you're around a bunch of your girlfriends, again, understand there may be a challenge because we know how women operate. It's the other woman looking him up and down, wondering why did she speak to Yasheka and didn't speak to me. All the stuff, kind of stuff that men play into this. So again, it's a big step, but we want to make sure that at the very least that you show some form of interest in by your body language, in your tonality. So this is pretty much how we're looking to do. So we're going to offer it by the drink. Hell, we may even offer you and the other ladies a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Because we understand in those certain circles that you make the girlfriends happy, you make her happy because now they've got the cosign.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, then it's just coming to the conversation and whatever that may be. So if it's the game, if, let's just say at your bar or cocktail party, now men are going to say, who do you know at the party?
Right.
Or things of this nature. So again, what we all know is small talk. We don't call it flirting. We just saying, look, I'm just trying to let this woman know whatever. And again, ladies, this is when it's on you. So now we have the ball, and we don't mind carrying the ball. But are you going to come with us and go to this touchdown? Or are you going to be like, nah, I'm not, no, I'm going to let this pass.
Yeah.
And just say, and again, if you're not feeling him, well, then he will know based on the body language or the short of the curtness. And some men will just be straight up and say, look, I'm feeling you, whatever it may be. And you just say no at this point, whether it's the truth or not. I'm in a relationship, I'm in a committed relationship and I'm happy, or, I appreciate it, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
And you just keep it moving from there.
And I know from me, from a woman's perspective, I noticed that men will notice when a man is flirting with a woman quicker than a woman will. Sometimes we take it as a guy just being nice. And I have an example of that. Actually, when I was married, there was a well, he didn't work with me, but we were all in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I remember this guy. He would do things, right? Like, I think, this was the day of making CDs and stuff. He would make me CDs, right? And it was because I love music. Come on, I'm from Michigan, I'm from Detroit, I love music. So he would make me CDs, and I didn't see anything wrong with it, right? But my, at the time, husband was like, that joker coming on to you. And I was like, because he made me CDs? And he was like, yeah. And I had to realize that men are not going to be flirt the way that we flirt as women. They're not gonna, laugh at our jokes and tap on us and touch on us and things like that. But you guys definitely have your way of doing it that's gonna still be from a manly perspective, a very masculine perspective, but it's flirty. And I didn't even recognize it until my ex-husband said something to me about it. And I mean, it was just like, and I thought he was tripping, but now looking back and remembering the incident, it very much was this guy flirting, because there were things, of course, that I realized that he would do, like check on me, like, why are you checking on me? I just thought you were making CDs for me. You know what I mean? but he would check on me, like, hey, how you doing? I'm good. Why are you asking me how I'm doing? It was more, it wasn't a what's up, like what's up, how you doing? It wasn't like that. It was a, hey, how you doing? Well, I'm well. How you doing? And so when I realized what my ex husband was saying, I came to the realization that he was correct, that the guy was indeed flirting. But I realized that men are not going to be as direct as as women are. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, now, in those particular situations, gentlemen, you know that's disrespectful because
Yeah.
that's a quick way to get your ass chin checked. Okay, and
Right.
if you don't understand what chin check means, well, let me put it this way: that's a real quick way to get your jaw broken or
Yeah.
something else. I said that's just not what you do because in the space, it's like for instance when a man are flirting and this may not be. Well, let's just make this the case. She says she's married.
Hmm.
Whether you believe it or not, that follow up question, are you happy, is disrespectful.
Oh God, I've
It
had that
is one of the
before.
most disrespectful questions you can ask a woman. And see, that automatically should tell a woman
Hmm.
that this is the man that you need to run from.
Hmm.
I
Absolutely.
says because if he, I don't care if you are having a disastrous, what you feel is a disaster, that's none of his damn business.
Right. Yeah.
And that's this kind of I'm here or it's this other corny thing. You speak to these and she says I have a man. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were looking for a husband, or if you want to. I'm like, this the stupidness, the pure stupidness that people are selling. And yes, men again waste their great flirtation lines on the wrong damn women. But we understand what the motive is. I'm talking about and talking to men who are looking for Mrs. Right.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about being intentional, when we're talking about, again, she may not even drink. Well, if she doesn't drink or may not feel like drinking, then don't try to get her to drink
Right.
or ask her why she just, how a soda,
Yeah.
water, whatever the case may be. Your goal, men, is to make sure that you're letting her know as quickly as possible, hey, I'd like to get to know you.
Right.
And so if you pass her the ball, hey, you know, my name is Run again, and then she gives it back. Because again, you're leading brothers and leading back with the right answer and the right body language. Then again, make it worth your while. This is
Hmm.
when you're saying, okay, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Now, it may not all happen in that same conversation at the same time. Hence, this is why there are dinner dates and things of this nature. But again, sometimes there'll be a situation where you intend to just make yourself known because there are other people that you want to say hello to, and then you
Hmm.
find yourselves talking 1 hour, 2 hours, and again, people realize that.
Yeah.
So,
I've
again,
even had him to say to me, um, and I was not married, but this was my way of shooing him away. But when you talked about when men will ask you, "Are you married?" I've had that to happen as a married woman. I mean, excuse me, "Are you happy?" He'll say, "Are you happy?" I've had that to happen as a married woman, and then as a single woman, kind of, sort of. And I remember one guy asked me specifically. He says, "Are you married?" And I said, yeah. And I was lying, but because he wasn't, I wasn't interested in him at all. Um, and he was like, well, he must not be too good to you because you ain't got no damn ring on. You know what I mean?
because men are
I was
looking at
like,
that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Right.
But I was legitimately single,
Right. Right.
but I just knew that even if, I mean, first of all, he was not someone that I would have been interested in, But second of all, let's just say for a second that I was. After that comment, that would have just totally deterred me from it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
now you're saying that, like you're judging any situation that you think I got going on. And then on top of that, you're disrespecting it. So if you're doing that now, you would do that in a relationship,
Mm-hmm,
find a way to tear
mm-hmm,
down or, whatever, you know what I mean? Because all he had to say was, okay, I respect that and walk off,
mm-hmm.
or something like that, But for him to give me his opinion about, my fictitious relationship or my fictitious marriage, it just totally, yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah, because spot on, I knew he was not someone that I would date. But
Okay.
one thing I will say about I have had men in situations where They will be very, I guess, like I was talking about yesterday, when a woman flirts, that whole space, I've had men to come into my space, and I don't mean like so close that we could touch lips, but just come very close to me and introduce himself, or ask me how I'm doing or something like that. And it's like they'll do this whole presence where they're standing there. As a woman, you just like,
Hmm. Hmm.
and so right away that they're flirting, and some of them are not as, like I said yesterday, about me just being, just, I'm kind of an outgoing person. Some of them won't be as direct as that. Some of them may just be a little bit more, well, just more casual and just talk to you from a distance, or don't invade your space because they don't know if you're gonna, if they're gonna offend a man, if you do have a man, or if they're gonna, and they'll, threaten you in any kind of way. So they'll do it kind of standoffish. But I just know that men do have their own unique way of
Hmm. We
flirting,
do. Hmm.
and as a woman, you really have to, I won't say be out here just, with your guard all the way down. Like I said yesterday or the other day, putting your guard down, but just kind of be aware.
Aware or cognizant. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
absolutely. Just be aware, because sometimes we can miss out on something, because he's throwing it out there. And just like us, they don't want to get their feelings hurt either. They don't want to put themselves so far out there, and then you say, well, no, 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 and then now their feelings are hurt, because it's like, well, dang, you ain't have to. So they walk that line of trying to be gentlemen and trying to let you know that they are interested, but without being intrusive. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Hmm.
And so I just think it's really cute sometimes how certain men flirt. I really do. I just think it's cute. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Well, it's a lot. And listen, I came up, in my generation where we just have to accept that rejection is part of that. And although sometimes I have some challenges as I read the stories today, and listen to many of the women who have challenges in accepting the rejection, you
Hmm.
know. And gentlemen, let me make this clear. You know, if she doesn't have a ring and she says she's married, she may not be married. She may
Hmm.
be lying.
Hmm.
In the end, what it means is that you're not the one.
Yeah, and she
For
said,
whatever reason,
yeah,
you're not the one. So just say, I'm sorry to have bothered you. Okay, enjoy your evening. It's not, well, you ain't that fine anyway.
yeah,
Or you look, I just came over. That kind of is, listen, is not respectful. So let's not even talk about not being a man. Let's just say, the human part of that, for the just sake of human discourse, respectfully. It says a lot about you. It
hmm,
says a lot about you. And again, this is why we're talking about self discovery and self development, because this is about you. And you need to check yourself. If every time you're not getting the results that you like, then you feel that now you have to demean someone.
hmm,
That's just not good energy.
yeah,
And see, not only does she pick up on that, the other women around her that could have been the one for you
hmm,
picks up on that, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going next to that brother with a 20-foot pole." So
yeah,
again,
absolutely.
ladies, as Yashika said, just be cognizant, because again, based on the situation, you know, for other brothers out here, we're trying to figure how to move, especially when you're around, because ladies travel in packs, and so now we're sitting. And trust me, if you understood the work that men mentally go into
Hmm.
and deciding how we're going to attract this woman. We want to make sure that this woman knows who the hell we are, because again, men accept, whatever the competition is, and some of us don't care about the competition, but at the same time, we know that if we're attracted to someone, she's not the only one. So we
Yeah,
gotta think fast, we gotta move fast, and I know there are those women who just say, "Look at him, poor thing, he's trying. Should I give him a signal or not?" And the guys is like, "Okay, this one, oh man, this girlfriend to her right just looks like automatic. She's just gonna give me hell. As soon as I walk away to get the drink, she gonna be like,
yeah,
girl, look at this man. Did you see his?" So it's all of that. So once he gets through that, and this is all happening in seconds, just be aware
hmm,
and just decide whether or not you're feeling them or not. And if it's not what it is, then it's not what it is. But at
Hmm.
the very least, if you're open to the possibility, then just throw a little signal and let him know, okay, I see you, big boy.
Yeah.
Come on through. Come on through. And
Hmm.
guess what we're going to do? We're
Hmm.
going to make it known.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just thinking about, just things in my past. As you're talking, I'm thinking about just things in my history, that I've known to happen or whatever. And it's just, yeah, I just like, well, yeah, that person was flirting or I was flirting. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think like I said, we all have that inside of us. Um, for sure. It's just that some of us are a little bit more like boisterous with it. Um, but I think men, like I said, I think you guys, when you flirt, it's just really cute. And we pay attention. Some women, most women pay attention. And then I've had women to tell me that they have no idea when a man is flirting with them. And I think you mentioned that yesterday,
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're kind of you're kind of not aware of it or whatever. And so I'm that friend girl around my girlfriends that'll say, "Girl, he flirting with you. Girl, go get him." Girl, he finished. They'd be like, "Really?" I'd be like, "Right, yeah, he flirting with you." And because they think it's supposed to be just this big old sign being, like
Yeah.
I said yesterday, like I'm flirting with you,
Exactly.
like, and it's not like that, or it's not gonna be the same way we flirt. They
Yes.
do it, you guys do it in your own way, and we just have to be aware and don't be so guarded and so eyes and head straight forward. Just look around and see. It might be that that stare from across the room, because men do that all the time.
Hmm.
They do that all the time. They want to see if you're going to catch eye contact, and if you don't catch eye contact or you quickly look away, then they're going to take it that you're not interested. You know what I mean? And so that's their way of doing it. Because I mean, granted, you might look at somebody, of course we have eyes, we're going to see look at a person, but there's a difference between you happen to be scanning a room and when you really lock eyes or look at someone. You know what I mean? There's a big
Hmm.
difference. And I've had men to do that to me, and and me being who I am, you know if if the stare is broken, I'll make sure to go back around and stare again. You know what I mean? Because let him know I saw your stare and I'll raise you one stare.
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
but that's just that. Like I said, that's just me. I don't know if it's flirting or me just being absolutely nice. I don't know. I don't know. But
Well, nowadays it's thirsty. I guess the way
I
somebody
guess
said,
so. And
so the
call it
way
what
some of
it is.
these people define. I'm like, really,
Call
we're
it
gonna
what
go
it
there.
is.
I
Listen, I
know.
don't think it's. I mean, you have to. If you allow people to judge you, then those are the same people who are trying to put you in a mind frame with them of just being afraid and not going after what you want. You understand what I'm saying? That's just like people who are on social media.
Hmm.
It's not always comfortable to put yourself out there, right? And then you're going
Hmm.
to always have people that's going to be in their inbox saying things about them. Why are you putting yourself? Why are you putting that? But this is part of you breaking from the pack to say, listen, I'm okay with being out here putting myself on blast or showing my vulnerabilities, because not everyone will do it, and the ones who do it are the ones who start to grow up in terms of being a social influence or being famous and rich and all that good stuff, right? And this is the same way it works in the dating world. you know People may look at you and say, you're being this, you're being that. Listen, let them waddle in their misery. Let them waddle in their misery. When you're living your best life and you got a partner to do it with and they're still single, then that's why,
Hmm.
right? Because in actuality, they wish to be like you. They wish to have that that I guess that confidence that you have to say, I'm going to be vulnerable enough, or I'm going to put myself out there enough to be able to achieve these things that I want to do in life, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's just the way it is. Because I mean, I've had people say stuff to me, and I mean, it's just insane the stuff that people say. And I got this new thing now. When people say stuff to me, I'll be like, that's your opinion. And I'm a
Hmm.
grown ass woman. And I'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like, and it's true, because people will say things to you. And you're just like, no one asked you your opinion. Now granted, if I knew it was coming from a good place, I'm not saying that if you're my friend, you let me out here doing crazy things. So if I'm out here just being all just whatever, and I'm not being ladylike. I understand that. You know what I mean? If I'm just out here just, not showing my age, not acting my age, then I understand my friend, tagging on my what they call it, my skirt tail or whatever and saying, "Hey, Yasheka, this may not be this way, or you might need to pull back from this, or this doesn't look good." I appreciate their advice, but that's all it is, just an advice. You know what I mean? And then from there, I can move forward with that, and I can decide, well, you know what, maybe they're right, or you know what, maybe they're absolutely wrong, and it's coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of judgment, and you know what I mean. And unless you're going to be with me unless you're going to tell me something when I'm doing good and bad, then don't just tell me the bad stuff. So if I'm out here and I put out here, that I'm single and looking for a partner, don't tell me, well, why are you doing that? That's being, listen, while you're still single, right, and dateless on a Saturday night, I'll give you a shout out from my live while I'm on a date. You know what I mean? And people do it all the time. And so I know that I said a lot to say that, but it's just one of those things where just live your life. Don't worry about what other people are saying. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what other people are saying. Period.
And that's, listen, and even with that being said, gentlemen, don't take anything that I say. If we're talking about flirting, I'm not giving you the definitive dictionary what how a man flirts. Again, there'll be those who may contribute something. I can go into a whole list of different ways, but again, a lot of this will be discussed in the masterclass that Yasheka and I are creating. But again, what is the end game? What is it that what are the results you're trying to? I mean, in the end, you want her to know that you see her. So, and sometimes that may take one or two times to do that. Just like Yasheka said, if the stair was broken, then whatever. Perfect example. I mean, there are those times when a woman I was interested in, and again, just having a conversation, but you're getting so caught up in the conversation, and I'm tunnel vision because I want to make sure that I address her question. Now, again, because the question didn't have anything to do with, hey, how you doing? I am what, we're talking about something that I'm thinking is business, if it's stocks or charts or whatever it may be, some political science, whatever it may be. And yet everybody around me sees this woman flirting. And it's like Yasheka, where, she needed to hold the big card saying, I am flirting. Why aren't you not? And so here I am ending the conversation thinking that, okay, we connected, I'll talk together. And then, and it's usually the women like, knucklehead. It's like that kind of, did you not see? Did you not get the number? Did you not? When is the date? Or the fellas, I'll walk over and they'd be like, and they're all silent. And they're looking at you like, and I'm going, what? And they're like,
yeah,
bruh.
And it's not like it was
what did you do? You didn't take out a phone.
Like
you didn't take out a pen. What the hell were you speaking all this time? This woman was throwing and and I'm going, oh damn, I just
when you were kids, if you were interested in somebody, you would hit, like boys would hit girls or girls would hit boys. We're running and hit them. We don't do that anymore as adults.
Right.
We don't make it that obvious.
Yeah, parents get called and people get sued for that now, but yeah.
We don't do that anymore. Or I remember when I was a kid, boys used to go around and hit girls on the bottom. We don't do that anymore. They have laws in place now.
Yeah.
We can't do that. But so it's not going to be as obvious as that. You know what I mean? But it's definitely, and if y'all unsure, call me. Call me.
I was just going to say, exactly. Gentlemen, this is when speaking to a woman helps.
Give me a call and ask me about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, no, he ain't flirting, or yes, he's flirting,
Yeah.
If you're unsure, for sure, you just call me and ask me, or shoot me a DM or a text message or something, and just ask me, is this flirting? Is he interested, or what am I doing? And I'll tell you. Free advice. I'll tell you yes or no.
Exactly. I get that a lot. Ron, he did A, B, C, D, or E. And I'm going, and if you're still, and I said, well, did you ask him? Or Ronnie, and it's a guy. I'm like, well, man up, just ask her. Or just say, look, I don't have much time, I've been wanting to get to, trying to get to you. And they're those guys. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm trying to catch the eye of a particular woman. And soon as I get a clear sight, to at least get some sort of indication, hoping I'll get a hair flip or something,
Mhm.
someone stands right in the way. And I'm like, are you the profanities that come out of, I'm like, out of
Yeah.
all the places this person could stand. So now I have to go reposition myself. And then this is when, again, as a man, we guys say, you know what? I can beat around the bush, or I can just whatever look for a signal, or I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to put it all on the line.
Yeah.
So again, it all depends, and the scenarios change as to whether or not, you know, and how you flirt.
Yeah. Bless you.
I'm sorry, I
Bless
had
you.
to mute that real quick. So just in how you're going to maneuver in getting your flirt on, gentlemen. So yes, just think. Again, we're thinking logical, but again, ladies. With this being said, please understand that we don't do the same things, or our approach is different than the way women do it. And so, if anything, if he's making the effort, just let him know.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you have to shower him with compliments, or it's just giving a nod. And because again, you're going to keep give him back the ball.
Mhm.
Okay, I hear you. And my name is Yasheka, and da 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 da, and then give him, and then let him take it. Let him
Yeah.
take it to the touchdown if this is
Yeah.
what you're going. So, again, that's pretty much it in a nutshell for now that I have.
Mhm. Yeah, and I've even had it where, and the thing about it is that men will let you know if they're not available, even if they don't have a ring on. Like I've had a guy, one time he was a very attractive guy. I had seen him in the Walmart, and we were just like talking like through the store. Like at one point, I ran into him at one point and ran into him at another point, and we ended up standing in line together. He was in front of me. And so, I didn't really, I was just being me. Like I honestly was being me because I assumed that he was in a relationship. Like I literally assumed he was in a relationship. I guess because of the way he just carried himself, right? But he was friendly, right? So after a while, we were talking, and we wasn't talking about anything specific, but I guess for him to let me know up front, just in case I had anything in mind. In a conversation, we were talking about something. Can't remember what it was, but it was just small talk or whatever. And he said, "Yeah, I know my." He's what did he say? He said his girlfriend or his lady, or he called her something, but it wasn't his wife. And he says, "Yeah, I know my lady. She sometimes." And I was like, "Wow, really?" And so it was his way of saying, "I get."
Exactly.
We're flirting with each other because it was not really flirting. We were just being cordial with one another
Cordial
or
with each other.
being
Hmm.
nice with one
Hmm.
another. But he quickly let me know that if there was some because I've never asked a guy for his number. I've never said, well, give me your number so I can call you. I've never did that before. But I'll definitely, if he's being friendly or nice and I'm interested, I will, raise him one. You know what I mean? Or I'll be receptive and speak back and talk back, and I might do a little giggle or whatever. But he definitely, let me know, and I think that that's a really good way to, let a person know without being so aggressive about it. And that goes for women and men. You know what I mean? So if a person is throwing that out there and or showing some type of interest and you are in a relationship, you can be cordial about it or be nice about it without being just mean or I got a man and walking off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You could just really
Exactly.
be nice about it. So yeah,
I agree.
that's
I agree. I
yeah.
agree. I mean, and those are the things that happen. And let's face it, gentlemen. Even when you're in a relationship, and this goes into the whole space of flirting. Whether a man is doing it or a woman is doing it. If you're in a relationship, honor that relationship, and it doesn't mean you have to be rude about it. Because I've seen some men, anyhow,
Yeah.
that's another conversation. But just in the conversation, somewhere in there, just let her know. Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about this morning, or my wife about it this morning. Whatever it may be, whatever it is, this way, if she was intending, because there are those women who will ask for a number,
Hmm.
or in another way, let you know they're waiting for you to ask for
Right.
that number. But by letting her know,
Hmm.
whatever, this way, no one feels embarrassed.
That's right.
Everybody knows what's up,
Yep.
and this way, it doesn't mean you can't be cordial. Because here's the thing about you may take yourself back into that store
Hmm.
with this girlfriend
Hmm.
and the one that you didn't have when you had many times to let her know,
Hmm.
and then you run into her.
Yeah,
Then
absolutely.
what?
Yeah,
Then what?
yeah, yeah.
So
And I
even in
ran
the
into
space,
that couple at a dinner at a Christmas party. That's really weird because I ran into that couple about a year later at a Christmas party.
see how that works? Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. I said, so
And I'm
you
gonna
got to be
tell you, he
real.
was uncomfortable. He was uncomfortable, and I was like,
Exactly.
"Hey,
See, oh,
because it was
oh
like
no, it's happened.
you could
Oh,
tell, like he was,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, why are you like we never like it was never anything like it was just a conversation, but apparently." He had some bad intentions, and so now that he saw me, it was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Hey!"
Exactly. Yeah, because of course, now he could have been letting you know, and here's the
Yeah,
other part: he could have let you
exactly.
know he
And
has
that's
to
what I
leave,
thought.
but just in case,
That's what I
So
assumed it was. He was
again,
letting me know,
whereas
well, if
if
you
he was
still want to be my side chick, I'm
right,
open to it. You know,
exactly. So listen, let's
he
be
was
real about this
uncomfortable.
gentleman.
He
That
was
flirtation,
uncomfortable. I mean,
because
he looked at her like this the whole time. Like every time I walked back, he was looking straight ahead like this. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "We was at Walmart. They ain't like we snuck off somewhere. We were just at Walmart."
hmm
But that dude, like when I tell you, I'm not making it up. He was uncomfortable, so I knew then that apparently he was trying to see what I was going to do, let me
hmm
linger at
hmm
Walmart. And that
hmm
was his point of telling me that he had a girl. But like, I'm telling you, I got a girl. But if you willing to, what I'm saying, I'm still down. I think that was because
yes,
I was like, why
yes,
you acting like that? You like, why you acting like that? We didn't even exchange numbers. I don't even remember his name. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. And see this, and again, and I didn't want to get into that part about the whole
yeah,
flirtation, but again, because of
yeah,
course we're talking to a gentleman whose intentions are honorable. But yes, that is part of that because if his intentions are honorable, one he ran into you at the Christmas party, it'd be like, hey, and then introduced you to his woman because she would have asked, well, who is this? Oh, this is someone that every time I end up going to the Walmart, I run into her and we just talk or whatever the case may be. Then he's cool. Now, that doesn't mean the woman isn't going to up and down you and be like,
oh,
okay,
she
let me,
was.
next time your ass goes to Walmart, I'm going, from now on, I'm going,
I think that's
all
her
these
knowing
kinds
her
of things.
man. I think that's
Exactly.
her knowing her man. It didn't have anything to do with me.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
overstep in. I don't overstep my boundaries when it comes
Right,
to a woman and her man at all. That was
exactly.
her knowing her man, and she could tell that he was acting a little bit different. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think she was paying attention to me because of his vibe.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, girl, you ain't got to worry about that. You
So
ain't got to worry about that.
yeah, be real clear, gentlemen. I'm talking about the brothers who are there for the sake of marriage, and again, just letting her know that you're in something should the flirt come on, and you
Yeah,
pick that up. So
yeah.
again, uh,
Dead center.
I,
Dead.
I've been the person by the bar, and the
Mm-hmm.
woman shouts out, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm looking at the couple, and the dude's looking like, "Oh God." And she said, "Why is he acting so strange?" And I'm like, "Okay, I already know the story. I know the story." So it's interesting. But gentlemen, um, be intentional with your flirting. Again, I'm talking to the honorable ones that are out here and making sure that they're looking for Mrs. Right, and be respectful, even if there's some form of rejection, letting you know that she's not interested. Just a quick, okay, my bad, or not even my bad, but just look, no problem. I understand. You have a great evening.
Right.
Enjoy yourself. And you can, if you want to end it with a compliment, you look great, and this is what I thought.
Mhm.
So I was just taking a chance, and keep it moving. Keep it
Absolutely.
moving. So,
Absolutely.
is there any other thing you want to?
Okay. No, this has been nice. This has been I really enjoyed this talk because I like I said there I've had conversations with women through the years where they told me that they don't know when a man is flirting because I think that they really believe that they should have a big sign or come right out and say it, and that's not always the case. You just have to really just be in tune or just be observant of your surroundings. That's all, just be in tune with it. And if he's not flirting, he'll let you know because he'll walk off. He'll be like, okay, well, it's good talking to you, and walk off. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
But there's nothing wrong with you know I won't say just being just completely vulnerable. But there's nothing wrong with seeing. There's nothing wrong with, well, maybe he is single. He doesn't have a ring on, and maybe he's single. Maybe he's not in a relationship or any of that. So
hmm
there's
hmm
nothing wrong with that. And I think women, we feel that men should always be the one that do this and that and the third. And as we start this conversation, I mentioned that we have to really get out of that mindset of what we think one person should do versus the other person. Because there's not we don't live in that world anymore. We don't live in that world anymore at all. Women, are doing things that weren't necessarily done before. And just like men are doing things that weren't necessarily done before, in all aspects of life, whether it be in business and personal, whatever, you seeing women faces. I mean, come on now, we got a VP that's a woman, right? In the history of our country, it's never been so. So people are doing things differently these days. It's not one size fit all anymore. It's not the way that your mom and dad met or your grandparents met. Things are different these days. So just thought that was something I need to say, and shout out to the VP.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, this is awesome. So as we wrap up block 3, tomorrow we start our final block of the 12 days till Christmas. And that block will be for 3 days as well. It will go through Christmas. Christmas being the last day. And that one is Hello, My Name Is. And so this block, being the final block, really, really talks about, just how to start a conversation and how to, set up, dating profiles, or just starting that conversation. Because some people are just like, well, he didn't say nothing to me and she didn't say nothing to me. Well, say hello, my name is. And so anyway, we're going to get into that on our last block. And
Yes.
then you guys, ladies and gentlemen, or the audience will really see how everything just ties into each other, starting from block 1, day 1, up until block 4, day 12. They all literally play off of one another. Just giving you some fresh perspectives, some new perspectives, some different perspectives on the way the dating world is. And it's okay, because just like all things is changing, everything is changing. I'm not saying I agree with it, but there are women who are getting on their knees and asking men for marriage. You know what I mean? So, yeah, listen. To each his own. Who am I? But what I'm saying is that, so when we see things like that, it's not just black and white anymore. And it depends on what you want for yourself. And if you see something you want to go after it, go after it. You know what I mean? All they can do is say yes or no. That's it. Yes or no. You know, um, but anyway, Ronnie, do you have any last minute things you want to add?
Yes, that if you would like some coaching in terms of flirting or anything in pertaining to that moving forward, you can go to datingdiscussions.com, and there you'll see some background information on Yasheka, and also set up a time for consultation coaching on the calendar, as well as you will see me if you're interested in consultation or coaching, as well as Yashika and I together. Again, that's datingdiscussions.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Ron Yashika Dating Discussions, and IG. So again, like, share, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and also hit that notification bell so that when we do go live and present what we feel is some valuable information in the space of dating and relationships and sex, you will be notified. So that be the case, and I'm really looking forward to this last block. And again, I'm loving the feedback on what you've heard so far. We thank you for that. This is one of the reasons that we do this again. So that's pretty much it for today that I have,
Okay, and
Shaker.
I want to sum up this or end this live on. I bought this affirmation book the other day, and I love some of the quotes in it, but I just wanted to read a quote real quick, and I think it just really sums it up to everything that we're doing during these 12 days till Christmas. And this one is, "My needs are valid," right? And it says, "The things that I need in order to have peace and contentment are perfectly normal. My needs are never wrong or too much. They are the foundation for living a good and healthy life. When my needs are met, I thrive." And I just think that that really goes hand in hand with what we're talking about and what I do as a dating coach, to just let you know that, listen, it's not about saying I don't care about anybody else's needs. It's just like that when it comes to that airplane ride, when the oxygen mask come down, you put yours on first before you can do someone else's. And so I think that when you feel complete and when you feel like your needs are met, you can really take care of the needs of other people. You know what I mean? And so you don't have to say, well, I got to suppress this because I want them. There are things called compromising, but you have to make sure that compromising doesn't take away from what you want overall, your bottom line, right? And so I just thought maybe I just wanted to say that. And ironically, when I do this, when I look at these affirmation books, this affirmation book, I don't go in any particular order. I just open up the page, and whatever I open it up to, that's what happened. And literally, I just picked that book up and opened up to that particular message, and I believe, I believe in alignment. So, yeah, so that was perfectly aligned with what we got going on for these 12 days. And so,
Awesome.
Ronnie, this has been nice. And don't forget, you guys, follow us on all social platforms, Ronnie and Yasheka's dating discussions, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook group. And if you are here live, make sure you let us know that you are here. And if you are catching this on the replay, be sure to hashtag replay. And
Also, not to cut you, I'm sorry. If you'd like to further support the platform and keep it as commercial free as possible, you see the Cash App going forth. Yasheka, if anything, if you once again, if you're in the giving spirit, Yasheka does like Tiffany and Gucci, and there's some new Harleys coming out next year.
right, right.
I just got the notification. So, if for those of you all who are feeling generous and want to restaurant with a Harley, outside of keeping it commercial free, we'll appreciate it as well. Anyhow, I'm being facetious. So, just let you know that we thank you for your support and the kind words and all of that you share with us. So,
All right, everyone. Enjoy your day on this glorious hump day, my favorite day of the week. And Ronnie, I will talk to you later.
take care,
Bye.
Yashika. Have a wonderful one.
You as well.